Hi, this is Sean Banerjee, and I'm recording this video for the week 3-4 coding assignment for the back end portion of Promineo Tech. So let's get started with the prompts given to us. Prompt number 1 says create an array of int called ages that contains the following values. And here's where I do that. Moving on, 1a asks us to programmatically subtract the value of first element in the array from the value of last element. And here's where I do that. I'm subtracting the first element from the last element of the array, which should give me the result 93 minus 3, which is equal to 90. And here is that result. So 1b asks us to add a new age to the array and repeat it so that it works for arrays of different lengths. So right now, the length of the array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's change that by adding one more element in the array. Let's say 26. All right, now this code should work again, and it should give us 26 minus 3, which is equal to 23. And yep, it is indeed showing 23 on the console. So 1c, it asks us to use a loop to iterate through the array and calculate the average age and print the result to the console. All right, so here I'm using a traditional for loop, which is going through all the ages in the ages array and adding the ages to the total. And here I'm assigning the total divided by the length of the ages array and assigning that to average, the variable average, and then printing that out. And the result of that is here on the console, 28.44. All right, let's move on to prompt number 2, which asks us to create an array of strings with these names right here. All right, 2a, use a loop to iterate through the array and calculate the average number of letters per name. All right, here again, I'm using a traditional for loop, which goes over all the names, calculates the length of each name, and adds the length to this variable called total letters. And to find the average, I'm dividing total letters by the length, by the number of, like how many names are there in the array. And printing that, and the result is right. All right, so let's move on to prompt number 3. How do you access the last element of an array? To access the last element of an array, we can use array. And in square brackets, we can have array.length minus 1. Prompt number 4, to access the first element of the array, we can use array. And inside square brackets, we can use the index 0, which will give us the first element of the array. All right, moving on to prompt number 5. It says create a new array of ints called name lengths. Write a loop to iterate over the previously called names array and add the length of each name to the name lengths array. All right, so I'm creating a new array called name lengths, a name lengths array of size this many, which is the number of names 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a size 6 at the moment. And again, traditional for loop, which is assigning the length of each name to the indexes of the array. Problem number 6 Write a loop to iterate over the name length array and calculate the sum of all elements in the array. Print the result to the console. All right. Okay. So here I'm using an enhanced for loop, which goes over every length in the name length array and adds the individual lengths to this variable called sum of name lengths and printing out the total, the sum of all the names, and it's giving us 23. All right, so now starting from prompt number 7, it asks us to write a method that takes a string. Okay, let's move on to the method first. 7. All right, write a method that takes a string word in an int n as arguments and returns the word concatenated to itself n number of times. So this is the method which is doing that. It's taking the word the string word int n, created a blank string. I'm using a traditional for loop, which is concatenating the word to result n number of times and returning the result, which has the concatenated word. And here is where I'm testing that. So I'm sending hi and 4 to this method, and then I'm receiving hi 4 times. All right, number 8. Number 8 says method of 2 strings, first name and last name, and returns the full name. And here's that method. Takes first name, last name, returns first name, space, last name. And here's me testing that out, sending John and Doe to the method, and it's returning John space Doe. Prompt number 9, write a method that takes an array of ints and returns true if the sum of the ints in the array is greater than 100. Okay, so the method, it's taking an array of ints, and I'm using an enhanced for loop to add all the individual number, all the individual numbers in the array to the variable sum. And if that sum is greater than 100, it returns true. If not, it returns false. And here's me testing that out. First, I'm using ages. The array ages, we can tell just by looking at the elements that the sum is definitely going to be over 100, which should give us true. And the sum of name lengths, we saw on our result here that the sum was 23, so that should give us false, and which it is. So the first one is giving us true, second one is giving us false, so we know that's working. Okay, prompt number 10, write a method that takes an array of double. Let's go look at the prompt first. Takes an array of doubles and returns the average of all elements in the array. All right. Taking the double, using an enhanced for loop to go over every element in the array, adding those elements to sum, and dividing the sum by the length of that array, which gives us the average. And I'm testing that out right here. I'm using just our ages array and just change that to double instead of int. And I'm passing that to find average, and then prompt number 10, it's giving us a result of 28.75. All right, prompt number 11, says write a method that takes two arrays of doubles and returns true if the average of the elements in the first array is greater than the average of the second array. So here, since prompt number 10 already asked us to find the average, I'm sending those arrays that we are receiving as arguments in the method. I'm sending those arrays to this method right here, which already calculates the average for us. And I'm assigning the first average to average A, assigning the second average to average B, and I'm just testing out if average A is greater than average B, which will return true. If not, it will return false. All right, testing that out. We are in prompt number 11. Okay, so I created a new array called ages2, which is larger than ages1. All right, so testing out, sending ages1 first as the first argument and 2 as the second argument. Since ages1 is smaller, not greater than ages2, it should return false. And since ages2 is greater than ages1, since we're checking is the first array greater, since ages2 is greater than ages1, the second result should be true, which it's giving us in the console right here. Okay, prompt number 12, write a method called will buy drink. Will buy drink takes is hot outside, money in pocket. If it is hot outside, which means if hot outside is true, and if money in pocket is greater than 1050, it will return true, else it'll return false. Testing that out with it is hot outside, but money in pocket is 950, which is less than 1050. So this should give us false, which it is. And if we change that to 1150, which will satisfy our conditions in the method there. This is true, this is greater than 1050. So now it should give us true. Prompt number 12, and it is giving us true. Number 13, it says create a method of your own that solves a problem. So this is a problem I have actually in real life. Every time I go to a restaurant, I have a really hard time calculating a tip. So this method takes the bill amount and the tip percentage as arguments. It calculates the tip and returns the total amount to pay, which is the bill plus the tip amount. So public static double, it's returning a double. Bill plus tip, that's the name of the method. It's taking the bill amount and the tip percentage, and it's calculating the bill times the tip percentage divided by 100. That's the calculation to that's the formula to calculate the tip. I'm sorry, let's go over that again. This line here is using the bill times the tip percentage divided by 100. So it'll give us the tip amount. This formula is the formula to calculate the tip amount. And what we're returning is our bill plus that tip amount, which is our total bill. And testing that out, our bill is 100, just to make the calculation easier to see. Our tip percentage is 20%, and I'm sending using those two as arguments for this method. And printing that out, it's giving me the result. Your total amount is $120. All right, so that is all the prompts that we had. Thank you for watching.